Hello students, today we will discuss about the selection of gears. First point for selection of gear is related to input position, that is relative position of input and output shaft. Then next is speed ratio. And efficiency. Cost. So these are the major factors which affect while selection of gears. That is the relative position of input and output shaft. For example, if we consider front view of this spur gear, gear is look like this. Actually, teeth are there, which is having involution, and is connected with this upper teeth. Actually, connection is like this. Okay. So contact takes place in between these two gears. The gear which is having the small diameter, that is called as pinion, and the gear which is having the larger diameter, that is called as gear or wheel. This is called as pinion. Okay. So if the position of the shaft, this is actually we consider this. This is the axis of the shaft. The shaft is like this. Okay. If two shafts are there and these two shafts are parallel to each other, then we prepare this spur gear. Then if the position is parallel, then one more option is available, and that is called as helical gear. This is called as helical gear, and the teeth is inclined to the axis. The inclination is alpha. This is called as helix angle, and this is right-handed or left-handed. If here the teeth is right-handed, then here we take the opposite hand, that is left-handed gears we use here. What is meant by right-handed or left-handed? We see that in our the next lecture, or when we discuss about the helical gear design. At that time, we go in detail about this right-handed gears or left-handed gears, like that. So if the shaft becomes parallel to each other, then we choose the spur gear and helical gear. Now, if So if the shafts are perpendicular to each other or near about 90 degree, then we select this type of gear, that is bevel gears. The bevel gears, if we look this bevel gears, this is actually conical shape. If we look the conical shape is like this. Okay, and if we cut this conical shape in between like this, so this shape is called as frustrum of cone. So bevel gear is similar like this frustrum of cone, and teeth are having maximum thickness at this location and minimum thickness at this location. So when the thickness we see in these gears, the thickness is maximum here, and this point is actually, this top point is called as apex point in case of cone. This is apex point. So if we move towards the apex point, then thickness is reduces. Thickness is maximum here, then thickness is less than here, and thickness is minimum at this location. So if we see the thickness gets varied. Okay. So this is about the bevel gear arrangement. If the shaft positions or relative position of input and output shaft becomes perpendicular, then we prefer the bevel gear. Now, if the shaft position is perpendicular to each other, but this is non-intersecting. If we see the shaft position, this is like this and this is like this. So, actually this position is look like this and this. Okay. So, gap may be there, and this is actually, if we actually consider the plane which is perpendicular to this board. Okay, shaft of this wheel becomes perpendicular to this board, and shaft which is lie on this board. So this becomes one shaft is like this and one shaft is like this. So this shaft becomes perpendicular to each other, but it is not intersecting. So for that purpose, we prefer worm and worm wheel. Okay, so this is about the worm and worm wheel arrangement, so we already finished these 4 gears. Our syllabus is limited to these 4 gears, so that we focus on these 4 gears only. So if the shafts are parallel to each other, then we prefer the spur gear and helical gear. Second condition, if the shafts are perpendicular to each other, then we prefer bevel gear. And if shafts are perpendicular to each other but non-intersecting, then we prefer the worm and worm wheel gear arrangement. So this is about relative position of input and output shaft. Now we focus on the speed ratio. Actually, 2 values are given here. One is related to normal values and one is related to critical values. Actually, we already discussed this point in yesterday's lecture. but I want to revise this again, as it is also related to selection of gears. So if we consider the spur gear, then in normal condition the speed reduction ratio becomes, it is also called as gear ratio. Gear ratio becomes 6:1. If we consider the critical condition, then gear ratio becomes 10:1. If we consider the next, that is helical gear. So helical gear having same values, that is normal condition, we take a gear ratio becomes 6:1. Critical condition we may take as to 10:1. What is the difference between this normal gears gear ratio and critical gear ratio? In some situations the space limitations are there. Like if we consider the satellite, okay, so in case of satellite the space limitations are very big issues. Okay, so in that case, for limited space, we want to fix the gears at that position only, and for that purpose, we want to increase the gear ratio, and we want to reduce the stages, and so that we want to increase the gear ratio in single stage. So all these ratios are related to single stage only. So if we consider the bevel gear, the gear ratio in normal condition becomes 1:1, and in case of critical condition, the gear ratio becomes 3:1. If we consider the worm and worm wheel, the speed reduction ratio or gear ratio becomes 60:1. In case of critical condition, the gear ratio becomes 100:1. So this is about the worm and worm wheel. If we see the efficiency, we get maximum efficiency in case of spur gear, and after that we get the efficiency more in case of helical gear, and we get minimum efficiency in case of worm and worm wheel, as the speed reduction ratio is very high, so it converts into heat. Okay, so due to this large speed reduction ratio, so for that purpose that energy gets lost and it is converted into heat, and also friction is again important in that case, and due to that a lot of energy get wasted, and the efficiency of worm and worm wheel is very less. If we consider the cost, then for manufacturing of spur gear, this is simply that is street teeth are there, and for manufacturing this only simple milling operation is only sufficient in case of this spur gear, and so the cost is less. Okay, and if we compare this cost of helical gear is more than spur gear. But if we see the bevel and worm wheel, special machines are required for manufacturing this type of gears. So cost is obviously more in case of bevel and worm wheel arrangement. If we compare both these gears, then cost is more in case of worm wheel as compared to bevel gear. Okay, so these are the factors which are important while selecting the gears. Now we will see the next point, that is spur gear. Now if we consider the gear, spur gear, the teeth are like this. Okay, the shape of teeth is again involute shape, and if we now consider for this purpose only these two teeth in zoom, okay, zoom condition. If we see the big size teeth out of this spur gear only, so this teeth looks like this. Magnifying image is there, and if we consider the imaginary circle, which is actually approximately middle to this teeth. This imaginary circle is called as peak circle, and this peak circle is very important in case of this gear design. Then the circle which is passes through the top portion, okay, and that circle is called as addendum circle. The circle which touches the bottom portion of the gear tooth, that is called as dedendum circle, and this peak circle is the imaginary circle which is middle between these teeth. And if we see the difference or the distance between addendum circle and this peak circle, this distance is called as addendum distance, that is indicated with symbol HA. Then the distance between peak circle diameter and this dedendum circle diameter, this distance is called as dedendum, and this is represented with symbol HF. Then what is the important thing here is circular pitch. What is meant by circular pitch? Actually, if we consider this single tooth, then if we measure the distance at this pitch circle diameter. So if we see this distance on this pitch circle diameter, the tooth distance, this is called as tooth thickness, and the gap between these two teeth is called as space width. This is called as space width. So distance from this tooth to the next corresponding tooth is called as circular pitch distance. So this circular pitch is nothing but addition of this tooth thickness and space width. Then if we consider this is the axis of this gear, okay. So if we draw parallel to the axis of the gear through this pitch circle, then we get this line, okay. The line is parallel to axial direction. So above this line, this portion is called as face of gear, and below this line, this portion is called as flank of the gear tooth, flank of the gear tooth. Pitch point, we know that the upper gear which touches to the lower gear at this location, for example. Okay, so at this location, these two gear tooth gets contact with each other, and this point is called as pitch point. So all this pressure acts through this pitch point only, or all these forces which are transmitted from upper gear tooth to the lower gear tooth, which is transmitted through this pitch point only. So this pitch point is again important according to the terminology. Then one more important point is there, that is called as pressure angle, or it is also called as angle of obliquity. The standard pressure angles becomes 14.5 degree, 20 degree, 22.5 degree and 25 degree. So according to this pressure angle, the dimensions of gears becomes different. The most preferred pressure angle in industry is 20 degree. So the systems are also created on the basis of this pressure angle. The system is like 14.5 degree full depth involute, then 20 degree full depth involute, 22.5 degree full depth involute, then 25 degree full depth involute, 20 degree stub involute system is there. So according to this pressure angle, different types of gear dimensions are available. Because if we consider the 20 degree full depth involute system, then empirical equations are available according to this pressure angle, and due to that the dimensions of gears becomes changes. If we see the formula for circular pitch, this is the circular pitch, distance from this to the corresponding, that is same point if we consider the corresponding teeth, then distance between these two points becomes circular pitch. If we see the formula of circular pitch, PC is equal to pi d upon z, where this d is called as pitch circle diameter, which is indicated with small d later, then z is called as number of teeth. Okay, so circular pitch is equal to pi d upon z. This is the formula. Then one more important point is module. So if we get the value of module, then we get all the gear dimensions, because all empirical equations are available in the format of module. So module is equal to, it is the ratio of pitch circle diameter to the number of teeth. So module is equal to d upon z, pitch circle diameter upon number of teeth. So d is equal to, we know that by using this relation, we cross multiply this m and z, so d is equal to m into z, and now we correlate this relation with circular pitch equation. So PC is equal to pi into d upon z. In place of d, now we put this m into z. So pi into m into z upon z. This z gets cancelled, and we get the equation PC is equal to pi into m. So this module becomes very important. If we see the values of module, So these are the model values. Okay. So this is first choice and this is second choice. What is the difference between first choice and second choice? First choice is the manufacturers according to these values and as well as according to these values. If these values are not suitable, then we prefer, or the manufacturer prefers, this is the model value, that is 1.125. That is okay. So mostly first choice values are very important from design point of view. Mostly designers select these first choice values. The model becomes 1, 1.25, 1.52, 2.5, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8, 10, 12, 16, 20, 25, 32, 40 and 50. What is the meaning of this? We want to standardize that gear sizes. Okay, so if we manufacture, our plant is located at Pune, and if we manufacture that component, or the manufacturing company of gear is located to the Delhi, then that component may available in Pune also. Okay, so for that purpose we standardize all the components, and that standard organization sets some values for making the gear standard. So 1, 1.25, 1.5, these are the model values. So for example, if your answer comes in between this 3.2, so you prefer 4 value. Or if your answer is model value becomes 25.3, so you prefer 32 model value, and according to that you select that gear, because dimension of that as model increases, then dimension also gets increases. So if your answer is 3.2, you must select the next value. You don't select this previous value, that is 3, because size of that gear gets reduced, and according to that strength of the gear gets reduced. So always prefer this 4 size. So this is about in today's lecture. We stop here. Thank you.